Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. I wanted to do a video today talking a little bit about the reaction and the fallout. I'm going to do a lot of these today, I can just feel it, from the announcement that Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger is going to be the source material for the 28th Power Rangers season after Beast Morphers is done, meaning we are skipping over Tokyuger, Zyuohger, and Kyuranger, although we already skipped over Tokyuger a long time ago, technically. But I feel like it's really interesting. I mean, ever since we've been able to skip seasons, there has been a lot of, drama and arguments and reactions to what's been skipped and what might be skipped and speculation and suddenly declaring things unadaptable. It's been interesting to be sure. And so this idea of the arguments has always been around. But I find it particularly interesting right now because I feel like it's at an all-time high. I feel like I've seen so many people freaking out about these Sentai being skipped forever. So much so that I feel like they believe they will be erased from the timeline. If Kyuranger isn't adapted in a year minimum, it's gone. We won't even remember it. That's not how it works. But I find it interesting for one main reason, and that main reason is it's currently 2020, and we are adapting a Sentai series from 2012. Meaning we now have a precedent for going backwards. Now, we don't know all the reasons why. We've been given a couple reasons in some interviews and stuff, but we haven't been given all the reasons. So, I'm not going to pretend I know exactly 100% how and why and if they would ever do it again. But the point is, there's a precedent for it. So there's not really a reason to think that these Sentai are lost to us for all time. And again, I've said in multiple videos, I'm kind of a weird perspective because my ideal next season is us throwing Sentai away and just breaking away from it. But there is still part of me that likes seeing adaptations. And when it comes to the Ryusoulger of it all, I definitely wanted to see maybe one more season in between it. But I did want to see Ryusoulger adapted because I kind of wanted to see some of the figures and toys from it. And I kind of understand some of the reasons I think of why they are doing it, so I'm not that upset about it. And again, there's precedent for them going back. Let's track this crazy journey for a split second. Back in the day, we could never skip seasons, right? And that was told to us even that they had to pay a fee or something. I don't even remember who said it, but they said that they had to pay a fee if they skipped. And so there really wasn't any question. What's the next Sentai series coming up? The one that just finished airing. The closest we came to skipping in the previous era was the fact that we didn't fully use everything from Dairanger and Kakuranger. That was the closest that I can remember. And this came a point of focus when Megaforce came about. People were crying about Gokaiger being skipped, even though, at the time, we were going in order, and you can't possibly skip something you haven't gotten to yet. So it made sense we were doing Goseiger first. But I think that's when the talk started. But then, suddenly, after the Gokaiger adaptation, we skipped over Go Busters to get straight to Kyuranger because we wanted that dino money, because Kyuranger did great. Then we skipped over Tokyuger and we got some interesting comments from Bandai and Saban about trains not being appealing to kids, and that's a whole other topic and that I could do a video on that's been discussed a lot. But we skipped to Ninja, which was interesting because Ninja didn't do that great. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it definitely didn't do Kyuranger numbers. It didn't do amazing, but I think that they psychologically thought Ninja stuff does well here, we should be able to do it. So we set that precedent all of a sudden when we wanted to skip straight to Kyuranger because the profit. And so suddenly now skipping was fair game. And so if we were still under Bandai and Saban, I could easily see us just taking all those seasons we skipped and we'd never see them again for whatever reason they decided they were unadaptable. And then, in an interesting twist, we did find out that Bandai had some input into the Kyuranger designs because they were probably going to adapt that after Ninja, given what we know based on the plans before they sold it. So we were all queued up for it to be Kyuranger because of that info. There was even that art bit from Shattered Grid that had Chameleon Green in there. So for all we know, there was early plans of that. But then the hugest plot twist in Ranger history happened. Hasbro bought the brand, and they're doing Beast Morphers. And who knows, maybe that was set in motion more by Saban. I don't know. We've gotten some little answers here and there and little insights, but not a lot. But the point is it's been really interesting. And I would say if we were still under Saban brands, then I would say it would be more likely to go ahead and declare the fact that You know, or at least, maybe not, again, Saban could have been evolved, but if we were more in the thick of the original status quo, I would say, okay, maybe Tokyuger and Ryusoulger are toast now. But the thing is that we have this precedent now of going all the way back to Go Busters. And that is a season from almost 10 years ago. So, the point of this video is to not freak out too much. You know, if your favorite Sentai hasn't been chosen yet, that doesn't mean it won't ever. I mean, I'm sure that there's, you know, a chance that none of them will get adapted, but I don't think it's 100% off the table. And I'm never an optimistic guy, but I feel the Go Busters precedent, I keep using that word, I'm sorry, but I mean the fact that we're doing Go Busters, a series from 2012, 2013, right now, means that nothing is off the table and they can do whatever they want. I mean, for all we know, we could get Kyuranger next, and there could be reasons they just want to do Ryusoulger now, which again is a topic for another video. But, so don't freak out. Think about the fact that we're doing Go Busters right now. That doesn't mean anything's off the table. I mean, who knows? In 10 years, we could get a comic series where they decide to use the Ryusoulger designs. We don't know. Anything's possible with that. And also, if your favorite Sentai doesn't get adapted, that doesn't mean it's any less legitimate. I feel like there's this weird mentality like, oh my god, if Ryusoulger doesn't get adapted, then it doesn't, then me liking it doesn't matter, and it's going to be erased from the timeline. Like, if Kyuranger or Ryusoulger or Tokyuger never gets adapted, those series still exist. You can still go visit them. Even if we adapt it, it's not as if we're getting Season 2. It's going to be a different show anyway. So yeah, I thought it was interesting that people were freaking out so much when we now have proof that they are willing to go backwards. So just keep that in mind. What do you guys think though? What do you think the chances are of these seasons getting adapted after we have skipped them? Which one would you want to see first? If you were to pick between those three that we've skipped, then which one would you like to see adapted after Ryusoulger? Until next time, before I comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.